and welcome back. So this is my new project. This is the 1/48 scale Space 1999 Eagle 2. This is the 22-inch model, so it's the larger of the two kits that they've put out. And this is one of those models that when I was 10, I thought would never ever happen. It's the kind of thing that, dreamed about. But here we are. This was released a couple years ago, and I still don't understand how on earth that it ever got into production, but here it is. I know that there are a couple unboxings of this, so I'm going to walk through my own walkthrough of the parts here and do a little bit of an unboxing, because I have not looked inside this kit yet, and I'm really excited. Basically the kit or the box has a whole bunch of the marketing. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Does have extra accessory parts. I won't be getting that. I'm contemplating picking up the booster kit for the spine, because I like that look for the lab kit. You have a couple of shots of the original, and this is the laboratory model was a 44-inch model that they made, and there's some interesting information here on the back that is kind of relevant. So this kit has the piping layout, the landing gear, and different little tweaks that are specific to the laboratory pod miniature, which is kind of neat. And you can kind of see all that right here. So if you want to actually pause it and read it, rock on. I am going to say flat out, I remember this vehicle from when I was 10. I have not dug into the specifics of the detailing of the number 1, number 2, number 3 version of which miniature. I know that when they were filming, it was put something together, slap it up, and there we go. It was very, very slapdash. Get it in front of the camera. I am not going to be specific. I am not going to rivet count this kit when I put it together. I'm going to put it together in a way that makes me happy. So I know that there's a lot of Space 1999 fans that are very focused on the detail. I am not one of them. I am focused on the kit itself and what it represents and the look that it will have for me. There will be some weathering things that I will do that will make this appropriate for me and what look right to my eye, which may or may not be screen accurate. And I just want to say that flat out. Okay. So with that said, there are other folks that have information out on the internet that have those specifics. So please, if you're interested in those, do look them up. I don't go to quite that level. So here's the instructions, and then we have our transfers, and then bags and bags and bags of parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the transfers. And now this is interesting, right? So I forgot about these things. So you have this are your color callouts, and a lot of the detailing for the model are these little transfers that go on and do all the little what you see in like Star Trek, the Aztecing and stuff like that. So that was what they used when they were shading it. So it's kind of neat. You have all your color callouts on the box, which is kind of cool. So what I'm going to do here is let's take a look at the instruction kit. Now the instructions are one sheet fold out like a big old map, as you can see. It looks like essentially you start in the cockpit, get that together, and the filming miniature had this is kind of how it was built. They had a nice detail thing, and they stuck the characters to the wall and then put it in so you could see it. I know there are those people who put lighting into this kit. I will not. Again, it's for my eye. Then we move on. So you get the main beak done, and that's that part of the assembly. Then you go to the main spine, and it looks like you actually put the spine together. So it looks like that'll be interesting. Lots of little parts, a lot of little organizational. I am hoping that it goes together, and the orientation. Here, that's what I'm looking for. Goes in right. These are your main walkway pods, I guess. You do have detailed pieces looking interesting. You go through and you do all this piping, and that's really one of the main aspects of the Eagle, is all that pipe work. Here are your springs, because your landing gear are actually spring loaded, which is neat. And you have the buildup for your land, or your side pods. There we go. Shoulder pods, that's what they call them. And these are relevant. So these are sided and these are specific. So pay attention. And then you build up the bottles and the piping for the main engines, or main motor is what they would call it. And these will, this is your orientation level, which is kind of neat. Okay. So then you go through, build up your main pod. Now, interesting, it looks like the way this does, you build your main pod like you would build up the other one, like the one for the Eagle 1, and then you build up these extra sponsons for the laboratory pod. I remember when I was like 12, I had one of the old NPC kits, and I scratch built one of those. I really, really love the look of this, and that's actually why this is sort of a dream kit for me. You put the engines together. Looks like there's screws to put the main pod onto the main spine. Finish putting the rest of the details on the underside. Then put your landing pods underneath, and there you go. And that is the instruction kit. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. I think the build is not going to be simple, because it's a fairly detailed kit. Let's go ahead and take a look at transfers that we have here. So these are the transfers, and as you can see, they're a little thick. Cartograph, are they? Nope. Round 2, but all these little markings and so forth. These are the way the model was detailed, and this is what they're expecting us to do to detail them. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Oh, okay. I don't want to say simple. The transfers look nice. They look to be in register. I will use them. I'm not going to paint them, just because I'm kind of building it out of the box. Again, this is a sort of a thing for me. So let's take a look at the plastic, and this is one of 4 of the shoulder pod assemblies, and they're nice and sharp, which is really cool. And you can see these raised areas for where the reaction control thrusters would go, and that would be where the transfer will go, and the paint it. So you build those pods all up together, and it looks, I don't see ejector pin marks where it'll be a problem. So you get 4 of those, because there's 4 shoulder pods. And then you get these guys, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go pulling them out of the bag, because I don't want to get them mixed up. I'm just kind of giving them a walk-through look, and it looks like these are half moon plug-ins, so they should actually hold the orientation fairly well. And I actually haven't seen a build of Eagle 2. I saw one guy do, I know there's a couple out there, so go and take a look. So it looks like there's 4 of these, and then there are these here, which look to be detail parts. So these are parts for the main spine and piping. And it looks like they faithfully represented or recreated a lot of the detail parts. So here is our extra piece, and this is the lab pod. And this is really neat, the way they put it all together. I'm going to open this one simply because I saw something and I want to believe that I see it the other way around. So this is the main pod with, so actually it's the whole pod, I guess, with the lab pod parts. And what I thought I saw, yeah, okay, so what I thought I saw is I saw that and I saw the ejector pin marks, but that is the inside. So this is the inside of, this is the side of the laboratory pod extra piece, and this is the top, bottom, end caps of the main passenger pod, and then the details. So these are really neat. Okay, I'm going to set those over here. Grab these. So these are your bottles and piping that you have for various reasons. You can see that there's some flash on this here. It is currently, at the filming of this, it is 2022. This kit, I think, was launched, when was this? 4 years ago now? It's been a little bit of time. So I think the molds are starting, but they're still really, really crisp. I think there's some really sharp detail there on that piece right there, and that goes on top of one of the shoulder pods, I believe, or it's part of the piping. But really nice, even with the fact that there's some of that age. So here are your engine bells, and they're done in this gray plastic. Now there are turned aluminum engine bell out there, and you know, again, if you're doing a faithful representation of the ship, that's what they had. I will not. I'll be using these. I'll paint these up. Whether I will go through and use metalizer or whether I'll use gunmetal, I don't know. And I hope that those who are you know, real focused folks on accuracy of the eagle don't cringe too much. We have two of these. You can see our pilots in there. Then piping, and I like the screw gates look to be fairly small, so we can actually control those. So this is the other parts of the pod. These are for the main motor in the back. And this here are the glass pieces in your springs. And I know one of the things that they had said about the springs in Eagle 1, in the Eagle 1 kit, so the first iteration of the 22-inch, was that it was a bit, those were stiff, and I saw in the marketing for this, it's a little bit thinner, or softer. So here's your beak, your main parts for the, looks like the top of the passenger pod and the top of the sides of the shoulders. The interesting thing, like I said, they faithfully represent the parts. So I mean, these were old, like when they built this thing, these were pieces of the lunar module kit. These are a lot of Saturn V kits, the lunar module kit, that kind of thing. Tank, that's a tank deck. I know that there are people who can actually say exactly which tank it was. I don't, because I don't get into that quite level of detail. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not my bag. So that is this Eagle 2. That's the look inside the parts, and then I will move on into my next videos will be the series of this. I'm actually going to get into this. Now this is, again, for me, this is a kit that is something that's been out, that has been something of a dream. You know, never thought I would see a kit this, you know, the 22-inch version of the Eagle. I had the MPC, actually Fun Dimensions at the original one, kit when I was a kid, and I really loved it. Like I said, I'd actually scratch built one of these at one point. So yeah, I'm looking forward to ripping into this. So please feel free to follow along on this journey as I go through this project. I am open to suggestions. Again, I am reiterating the fact that I'm not going to hyper screen detail this, but I am going to make it something that is interesting to me and for my eye, and hopefully that folks watch along and will find that entertaining too. So until next time, I hope everybody enjoyed this look into this kit. We'll move on to the work on it, and I'll talk to you next time. Until next time, thank you again, and happy modeling.